What's going on? We have a special guest today, Grant Cardone. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is JJ Hernandez. I was on Alex Ramosie's sales team at Gym Launch, and I was Iman Gadzhi's sales manager and sales coach over at Educate, if you guys are familiar. It's probably one of the most requested videos to review. I've never seen this. I don't know how good or bad Grant Cardone is at sales. Not really the biggest fan of him, but not saying he's bad. Just never really chose to watch his stuff. But let's dive into it. Not going to waste anybody's time. Let's see what he's got.
To train on their lunch break. When they're on the clock, their job's to be on the phone.
Very true.
So I got it all covered here. Selling basics, understanding the buyer, the sales process, okay?
From what I can see, this seems like sales rep, maybe a new guy, post-close, probably drop price already, and then Grant's trying to save it. That's what it looks like. Let's see if I'm right.
Theory of closing, closing strategies, incoming calls, prospecting, follow-up, mastering a cold call, customer care. What does that really mean? How to stay motivated. The top traits of great salespeople. Out of your 18 people, how many of them want to be great?
All of them.
Well, good, good. And some of them a little more so than others, depending on what day it is, right?
That's very true.
A little old school, a little unique to Grant, I can see. Like, how many of them want to be great? I mean, but also I think he understands who he's kind of speaking to. Thought he would resonate with that message or that statement, or question, sorry. But universally, like, I wouldn't use that myself. I think obviously identify who you're speaking to, but also if you're not this kind of persona, this personality, like, that's authentic to Grant and it's going to come out, sound normal from him. I don't think it would sound normal from a lot of you guys.
So this is an affordable, measurable way for you to train your people, okay, without you stopping running your business. I'm running 4 companies over here, man. I want to ring the cash register every day.
Right.
I don't want to stop and train people. There's no money in it. Now, let me ask you a question, okay? There's only 2 reasons you wouldn't do this. Can I?
Whether that was intentional or not, that was actually pretty high level. You know, the saying that there's no money in that, you know, the training, there's no money in that. And then the silence, letting it hit. Because he's like, I know the guy on the line's like, yeah, it's so true. There's no money in it. And he stayed quiet. Whether he was thinking or not, and it was intentional or not, that was actually pretty good.
Share them with you?
Yes, sir.
Number 1, you don't think it's going to work. Or number 2, you don't think they're going to use it. Or maybe a third one. It could be a third one. The third one could be, I don't think this is you know, necessarily your case, is you're not the decision maker.
All right.
Which of the 3 would it be?
You know, with us, I've been...
Okay. Not sure where you got the context of that or why he felt the need to ask that. I mean, it definitely was a good question. He'll get the emotional buy-in on the first 2, on if they're not going to use it or if the team's not going to use it. Like, he's getting an emotional buy-in there. That's fine. The last question's pretty unique to this guy. If that is the case, if it is true, if he's not the decision maker, that's a fundamental problem on the closer here. Like, you shouldn't be on a call with somebody who's not a decision maker. Genuinely, like, I would get off that call as soon as possible. Or if it's the kind of decision maker, you know, like where he's super, super high level, you know, like a guy like Russell Brunson or, you know, maybe a guy like Jeremy Minor. Like, they're not going to hop on sales calls themselves. They're not. They're going to put somebody ahead of them. And you got to get information so they can bring it back to the team. Like I said, be okay, but you got to figure that out, like, the beginning of the conversation. If you're this far into the process, it doesn't make sense. But I don't know if you looked at the screen and found out that information and felt the need to ask that question. But I mean, usually it'd be like, because that it is a really solid question. You're gonna get buy-in, and as long as he is a decision maker, which I honestly don't think he is, because he started getting flustered, super flustered. He was like, and so he definitely got something. But he was super confident in that. So again, I don't know the whole entire context here. Maybe he told him he's not the decision maker or what it is. But in most cases. Like, I would never get to the end of the conversation and ask a question like that, just because I would not be on the call with someone who's not a decision maker and pitch them. It just wouldn't make any sense. Usually, like a question like that, you'd ask similar to that, like, "Hey, you don't see the ROI. This is a want more than this is more of a want than it is need, or it's the price." Right. But again, these are all things that you can prevent before you get to the end of the conversation, like, for sure. So let's see where it goes.
Well, let me say this. I've been privileged to sell everything from legalized drugs and pharmaceutical rep. I've been in the coin industry for a long time, and I've sold cars. I worked for GM as a regional director in sales and training for them. And I can tell you that I know about your program. I've seen your program before with other guys, and I know the program works.
Yeah.
Emotional buy-in. You see? Good.
Not a factor of working, not a factor of getting our guys to do it, because the key fact that I see.
Grant already knew the first two answers would be positive. That's the case. Like, he just knew that wasn't the concern. He really, really knew this guy was not the decision maker.
With this is the time.
Yeah.
Like we were discussing earlier,
Yeah.
if it's a long deal, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying it with our group.
Yeah. So that would be they're not going to.
All right, that's bad. Like, yep. Just let them speak. It's okay, and don't cut somebody off. I'm telling you, don't do it, because it's not going to help unless he comes in and says something out of this world, like super, like nail in the coffin. Fine, but most people would interrupt and say something that didn't really need to be said, or just unnecessary. So let's see.
Use it, right?
Right, but no, I feel that our guys will use this.
Oh, you do? Uh-huh.
Yeah, and
Again, that is super unnecessary to interrupt him for that.
And I know, and like I said, I mean, I deal with discussing options of buying every day and selling and overcoming objections. And the only thing that I have right now on this is simply having the discussion right now with Ed on, what our expense will be to do this and how long. And
yeah, this is like, genuinely speaking, like, as a sales manager, if one of the reps showed me a call like this, like, I'd be like, dude, this call should have been over in the first 5 minutes, or get him the information he needs to move on to the next conversation, book that second call, and that's it. Like, this is a fault on this guy.
all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a factor of anything else than that.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: when you go to Ed, how would you make sense of $1,800 a month? What's the month?
Solid question.
It's $220 a month for 18 users.
How would I make sense of the program to him?
Yeah. Is that a 36 month?
That's a 30.
You could have asked like, okay, so obviously price is $1,800 a month. Like, what would make this valuable enough for Ed to pay that X amount of money, right? Like, or what would Ed want to be included for it to be worth $1,800? Something along those lines. But again, realistically, at this point, like, I probably would have just been like, oh, okay, so you're not a decision maker. Totally fine. Do you feel like you have enough information to be able to bring this over to Ed and book a second call here? Does this sound like what you're looking for? Do you think this sounds like what Ed is looking for? Which, again, granted, he can't really answer that question. Is there anything that would stop Ed from moving forward with something like this, in your opinion? Because also, I mean, we don't know how closely he works with him and what that looks like, but it's a good question. But granted, I would have just, if I'm not talking to somebody who's going to pay me, just focus on booking that second call.
There's a 36-month agreement at $1,800 a month. Okay, so at this point, he's going to have the same questions, Shannon. Hey, man, are they going to use it?
Right.
The only reason he won't do it, if he's the check writer, there's only two reasons. Hey, they're not going to use it, or it won't work.
Right.
And that's the only reason he would have an aversion to a contract, because he doesn't want to be stuck in something they're not going to use, right?
Very true.
So now, look, we don't have to do a contract. I can do a minute to minute, okay?
Yes.
So you could do a month-to-month contract, The only reason we do contracts is people are like, dude, I'm not quitting on my program, okay? Can you get me a better deal if I commit to using it? Sure. So we cut it in half. So if you go to Ed and Ed's like, I don't want to sign a contract, it's $3,600 a month. That's basically $100 a day. So now my question to you, for 18 people, how would you justify spending $3,600 a month if Ed doesn't want to commit to some term?
I see what he's trying to do by getting the commitment from this guy, the partner, whoever this is, whatever, to commit to him and how he would convince Ed, right, to get buy-in from this guy, because he's going to be convincing Ed to do this, right? I get what he's trying to do. I don't think it's the best ROI on time, and I don't even think it's necessary, truthfully, because you're going to have to talk to Ed regardless in order for him to write the check. So I will say this. Grant, in this video, at the very least, he's very comfortable in the close. Anybody else, they'd feel like there's tension here, or like there's a little bit of like friction, or maybe even get frustrated that they're not talking to a decision maker. But he's super, super comfortable. I mean, I genuinely, there's no way he can sell this guy. He's not collecting cash on this call. I know he's not. Like, there's no way he is, because this guy's not a decision maker. So I'm curious to see where this goes, but it's just, you're better off just booking that second call genuinely, because you're just not going to make any money on this call. So
the only way that I'll just tell you how he is the type that it's all about the, and I hate saying the word instant gratification, but he's one of those guys that's going to say, at the end of the day, I don't mind spending money on anything as long as we're going to show progress in our business. But if we can't show that what we're doing and how we're doing it is going to give us some kind of plus in the areas that we need it, and it's a cost that we would have to refer into putting into advertisement or making the phones ring.
Yeah, and so let me ask you this then. What'd y'all make last year? What'd y'all make last year?
The company did a little over, I think it was $4.5 million last year.
Okay, and how much training did they have last year?
None.
Okay, good. No training. Good. No training.
Right.
So now Ed might say, well, dude, I hired you to do the training. Why am I buying something?
Right.
Okay, well, if you were a mechanic in a car dealership, because you brought up car dealerships, that mechanic's bringing his freaking mechanic box with him.
That's true.
Or somebody's got to buy him the tools. If I'm a carpenter, I still need a hammer. Even Jesus needed a hammer.
Amen.
Okay, so now check it out now. If we train your people every day, if all 18 of these people do 6 segments of content a day, it takes 4 minutes max to do a segment. If your people do 6 segments a day, every day for 360 days of the year, okay, customer service, incoming calls, outbound calls, handling objections, motivation. If we hire the right people, train the right people, and they train every day, are we going to make more than $4.5 million?
Well, I hope so.
I don't like the statement. I mean, it's a little old school. I mean, again, this looks like it's a few years back. Actually, I've actually never seen Grant Cardone sell on Zoom, right? I think he's only a phone sales guy, or in person. I don't know. I'm not sure. Whatever, doesn't matter. He could have asked. So it's when he said, Ed might say, I hired you to do the training. Then what do you tell Ed? Because he has to have that mental buy-in in this case. If he's going to go down this route of trying to get the guy here on the call, the partner, to commit to this to then sell to Ed, like he's basically trying to make this guy literally become a sales rep for him to sell this to the decision maker. He could have asked a question that would then, because again, if it comes from you, it doesn't mean anything. If it comes from them, it means absolutely everything. So he had to basically verbalize what he told him. And then he'd say, oh, well, so if we do this, if we get to training, you think it'll be more than $4.5 million? He's like, I hope so. And he said it quick. Versus if he asked him the question, it came from him. And then he's like, So then if you did the training, do you think you'd make more than $4.5 million? Do you think you'd do better than last year? Then he would have been like, of course. It would have been a different response, for sure.
Well, yeah, but I mean, because if you don't, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, we got issues.
You got.
But I will say, like, in the close, a lot of times, I'm sure you felt this if you're a closer, or maybe if you've been a prospect where you've been close, where it feels like you guys are fighting and they're pulling you in the direction where you have to go. Grant really, really feels like he's on the same side of the table. He really, really is comfortable. Like, this is probably the most comfortable I've seen the majority of, like, these reviews that I've done. Like, I haven't seen too many people be this comfortable. Like, he just feels like he belongs here. Like, it's second nature for him. It's not really common you see that with, I'd say, like 95% of reps. They're just not comfortable in the close. They let the friction get to them. They change. They get a little more aggressive. Holy cow. But, yeah. Grant's probably done it a lot of times, a lot of reps. I could definitely tell. Let's continue.
So the whole deal. Let me ask you this: you think we'd make $40,000, $42,000, more than the $4.5 million?
I think. Yeah, I think. Are you asking? I think we make enough to cover the nut on it.
It's $42,000.
Yeah.
You made $4.5 million.
Yeah.
So what's the margin on $4.5 million? Or is that your net? Is that your net?
That was the net.
Yeah. Okay. So you're basically spending 0.01% of 1%.
Yeah.
So again, now we're back to what does it cost to hire somebody? What's the average salary at your store or at your company?
We do initial draws for all of our guys.
Yeah.
So the guys come on anywhere between $3,500 and $5,500, depending on where they're at for a draw. We do that for 60 days on them, and then past that point, they get a straight commission.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. So we're spending. At the worst case scenario, and you should present the worst case scenario to Ed, which is month to month, until he's sold on this. Okay, you're spending $2,333 per person per year. Okay. You spend more than that in insurance.
Yeah. Person per year.
It's like this stuff would hit so hard for the actual decision maker. And if he was super, super uncertain, he's and he said a line like that, this is great. I mean, again, the comfort is impressive. I will say that. And the analogies, the comparisons, the ROI, like the value proposition. And he's really trying to increase that value perception and almost make him feel stupid for not making this decision. But again, it's not a decision maker. He's literally just selling him to sell Ed. So feels beneficial, but it's not.
I'm just writing.
If you do a contract, if Ed's like, hey, I don't want to start this and not be doing it a year from now, which I agree with, by the way.
Right.
Okay? So you could start the deal, 2 months from now, quit it, walk away, and we're done. Or you could say, man, I don't quit stuff. Whether you were selling drugs.
And I'll tell you this, Grant. We like in our marketing stuff, we just signed a year commitment.
You got to confront the freaking boogeyman.
It's not a factor of
So confident. It's good. I like it.
being able to commit to something. I think it's a factor. It's just like in that, when we sat down and made the agreement with them, I told them, I said, look, it's business, it's not personal. If we don't see that we're getting something out of this in 6 months, then we all need to come to the table and everybody can eat from the same basket and we can kind of figure out what we're going to do, because at that point it's what they're doing, because we put it in their hands as a marketing firm as well, because that's what this group brought. Then we got to figure out if this is good or not.
Yeah, I know. Look, I spend money on CNBC every day. CNBC, CNN, Sirius Radio.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but I know this: if I don't spend, I don't get.
No, we agree with you wholeheartedly on that. I mean, we're spending a little over $37,000 on just basic magazine and TV, or magazine and newspaper. That doesn't count any of our other stuff that we're spending, upwards of 50 and 60 grand a month on.
You're spending $37,000 a month on TV and mags?
No. The magazine, newspapers, and social media is around 30 something, and then we spend another 50 to 60 on TV.
Okay, another 50 grand on TV. Okay, and all I'm saying is let's spend $3,300 a month on training people.
Right.
Now, if I do push-ups, every day, or sit-ups every day, or run in place every day, not even Sundays, even God's day, do I get in better shape?
Absolutely.
You can't say that about advertising. Okay, so this is tax deductible. If you spend 40 grand a year, it costs you 20. The advertising, it's going to make your advertising dollar work better. You're going to be able to hire better people because you're going to be able to say, hey, by the way, when we're hiring people, we have the best sales system in the world. Why do people not want to sell? Because they're not successful. Why are they not successful? Because they don't train.
Similar to Andy Elliott style, selling with conviction. I mean, again, not bad analogies. I actually like them. I just don't think it's necessary. I just think this is like it's none of this is going to really matter unless you can send this call recording to Ed. It's the only thing that I would say. Like, it's the only benefit of a call recording like this.
So we take good salespeople, we make them better, we make great salespeople superstars, and I can take you got any kids?
Yes, sir.
How old are they?
I got a 5-year-old and a 9-month-old.
I'll make that. I can't help the 9-month-old yet, but I can take that 5-year-old, I can make him or her.
2 boys.
I could make him the best Girl Scout cookie salesperson in the world in 30 days.
Right.
Again, this is authentic to him. It's funny, lowers resistance. I mean, there's no resistance here at all, but I mean, it's like, he's selling himself to this guy who can't make the decision. I think it's funny, and I honestly think he would have just told Ed. He was kind of pretty much already sold on this to begin with. I mean, honestly, I don't get why he's keeping this going. I mean,
so I'm just telling you, we're here for you. Every Wednesday we have a live call.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's part of the activation, is you get a live conference call with us every Wednesday. So if you're bringing new people on, you have somebody that fell off the program, you got somebody not convinced, you got somebody having a hard time, whatever. We know things happen to people. I had 30 million lessons delivered on this platform.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
So I'd love to get a call with you. If Ed needs to see the deal, you need to talk to him. Like I said, there's only 3 reasons people don't do it. They don't think they're going to use it, they don't think it's going to work, or they're not the decision maker. So tell me what we can do to help get Ed there, and we'll help you make.
He just had his LASIK surgery down at 11 o'clock today, so
Yeah.
he's at home right now. They got goggles on him, he's chilling out.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be back in the office sometime tomorrow afternoon because they told him they didn't want him doing anything crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, Friday he's in here back, at his normal times. He had asked me. He and I have been in business together for a long time. He is the principal of this company, and his goal is, like anybody, like what we talked about earlier, it's about making the company bigger and better.
Yeah.
So it's going to be just a factor of him seeing it, hearing it from, Chris and I, who are sitting here listening to you and discussing the options and opportunities of what we think can do. And we all know that we need training on that aspect of it. I do train twice a day in the company to help, on the coins itself, like what you were talking about. My goal is to enrich them on that product. But as far as the sales aspect of it, we do work on closing, overcoming objections and stuff. But what you have, I know, is a lot better than what I can do.
Yeah.
this dude was already so. I'm telling you, the first time he found out he wasn't a decision maker, I would have just did exactly what he did here. When can we get Ed on the phone? If it's not you, the different decision, that's totally fine. Do you feel like you have enough information to kind of send this over to Ed, and it's worth picking that second conversation? And will he show up? At this point, with the information you do have, do you think he'll show up? Is this what you guys are looking for? Cool. Okay. That's all I would have done. There was no need for the extra stuff, genuinely. It's just like a waste of energy.
Well, hey, and you can keep doing what you're going to do, but you can't be with them at 10 o'clock at night. I can be. You can't be with them on a vacation. I can be. You're not talking to them about financial planning. I can be. You don't have any interactive disc assessments. You don't have tests on 1,500 segments.
This is just unnecessary at this point. Genuinely, I think like this is almost de-selling him. Like the guy was convicted and ready to go. You just booked the call.
It's a content. I do, okay? You don't need to spend time with these guys testing. See, I'm not training these guys right now. What am I doing? I'm on the phone with you and Chris.
Right.
So these guys, their job is to train. When they get to the office in the morning, they role play. They don't train. We don't spend any time. Listen to what I'm telling you. 0 time in training here.
Did he just write that down? I wonder what he wrote. Did he just write down what he said? I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
We spend 100% of our time on calls. Because there's no money. There's no money in training. I want my guys doing this at night. If my guys want to watch YouTube videos and Fox TV or CNN, you know, the communists over at CNN, then good. But I'm going to know about it tomorrow morning, because tomorrow morning when we do the role play, they're not going to be ready.
Absolutely.
Okay? So look, have you guys seen enough to make a decision?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I felt confident earlier in just talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that I'm in.
I mean, come on, guys. I swear I did not watch this. It just didn't make any sense to me at this point. Like, I mean, he should have. It just felt like he was talking just to talk. I think as soon as he figured out he was a decision maker, they were already convicted. Asked this question, booked the call. It could have been a 2-minute conversation.
You don't. I mean, we were pretty much all good earlier. So now it's just a factor of having it on the phone and saying yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So I didn't show you everything here, but this thing is an amazing product, and I just wanted to jump on the phone and tell you I'll support you, I'll help you, anything I can do for you. Wait this turn. Anything I can do for you guys. Also, Chris, just so you know, man, I just want to say hello to you. We can also start dropping in content that is specific to your problems.
This is de-selling. I mean, I guess I'm trying to add value, but it's like they're good. Like, just book the call. They're good. Like, I'm telling you, like it's extra fluff for no reason. And I mean, maybe de-selling is the wrong thing. I don't want to. It could be depending on the person, just because it's like, okay, cool, man. Like, it's great. Like, and at this point, if it's not de-selling, they're just not listening.
Awesome.
So you see these little squares that I'm rotating right here?
Yes, sir.
This could become yours. So this could become, what's Chris good at? Is Chris good at anything?
He's sitting here with me, and he's on another line on his headset, taking care of a heat case on an IRA. While he's watching this, and he's smiling, looking at me, going, yes.
Good. So let's say
handling objections and issues.
Okay, good. Let's say he's really good at handling heat cases, right? We could literally create a box here. Chris handling heat cases.
Awesome.
In full.
The reason I'm telling you guys, like I could tell you, like, just skip through this stuff, and like it's what he's doing now is not important. Because even I, reviewing this, I'm just like, dude, come on. Like, it's funny. I sped it up unintentionally. Like, I didn't even realize. Like, it was almost just subconscious. I was like, oh, let me just start speeding this up because I just know he's gonna ramble. But really, if I feel that way, imagine the prospect. Like, all right, dude, okay, cool. Like, let's just go.
Video, in full video, man. Here's the deal. Your people cannot read, okay?
All right.
40% of America is illiterate. They can't read. So we don't want to give them stuff to read. We want to give them stuff to watch.
Is that true? There's no fucking way. Hold on. There's no way. Yeah, no, it's 14% of the world. There's just no way. %, don't read a book. Yeah, they read below us. Yeah, no, that's not true.
watch, okay?
Right.
That's why people like video so much. So maybe there's something you do real good, okay? What do you do well?
I'm a closer.
Dude, then all my closing content, I need to know.
Right.
I need to know Shannon's. What do you got? Maybe 8 or 10?
Absolutely, easily 8 or 10.
8 or 10. I mean, I got 115, but you got 8 or 10. Now we got 123 between us. But I could literally drop your video in here, so that 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 3 years from now, man, your data's in there. I don't need to be the best in the world.
Right.
Okay, I need to be one of the best in the world. So I want to be in here with you, so we can actually take this content, put your content, your box in here. Right? You with me? Shannon's 12 best closes, 3 of which he copied from Grant Cardone.
There you go.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding right there, right? So,
I know, I'm listening.
so
That guy did not that he didn't like that. He's just not paying attention. Like I could say he's like, there you go, yep. Like, he's like, I'm just kidding. He's like, yeah, I'm listening. Like it's like, dude's checked out.
So all I'm saying is this thing can expand, okay? Like your kids are going to get bigger and they're going to learn new things. We can have your content here. We can have Ed's content in here. Purpose of the business, the mission of the business, the things that's important to him, all in video.
Right.
Okay? Okay, let's set up a call with Ed, all right, guys?
Sounds good.
Should have done it minutes ago.
You see that deal? I found out in the first 60 seconds. Ask one question. Hey man, look, you're either not the decision maker. There's only 3 reasons you won't buy it. Okay, only 3 reasons. They're not going to use it. Number 2, you don't think it'll work. Or number 3, and I don't think this is the case, you're not the decision maker. And immediately he's like, yeah, I'm not the decision maker. These freaking goons didn't know it, man. I love these dudes, man, but they didn't ask the hard question. Folks, you gotta ask the hard questions, okay? If you don't have the decision maker, sell your product, set your hook, and get a call with the DM. The DM is the decision maker.
Yeah, I mean, he knew in the first 60 seconds, but the guy already did the selling. Just book the call. Yeah. I mean, overall, what you can take away from this is how comfortable he is in the close. Like, he doesn't create friction. It feels super normal. It's just very rare that you see sales calls where it feels that seamless. If that guy could pull out his credit card and pull out a check and pay for it and he's a decision maker, he would have 100%. Like, he could. I definitely, the level of confidence, the analogies, the emotional buy-in, he could have done it for sure. It's actually probably one of the best reviews that I've seen in terms of like confidence. Actually, I've reviewed some crappy ones these last few days. So best in the sense that like this is probably like a solid like 5 out of 10. But granted, like the fact that he was doing that with someone who's not a decision maker is literally like taking a sales call while on mute. Like I mean, like or like having poor connection and taking it. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you continue that conversation? Just get them off the call and put the person on the call who can actually give you the money. So if you guys found this valuable, let me know in the comments. If you did not, let me know as well. If you guys want to learn how to sell properly, how to get into sales, how to become the best closer on your team, anything sales related, if you just want to learn from me and my team, click the link in the description below. It is for free. Who doesn't love free? If you don't value free, there's also a premium community where you can have one-on-one access to myself, and we will place you on an opportunity. Either way, I love you guys. Have a great one.